Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a double up game, that is the two-player co-op mode, and this is the first double up game that I ran in set 6.5. I'm joined here by Antisocialmonkey, and the two of us are playing, as you said, this double up game. So technically I'm going through placement matches again for this game mode, but the rating has, I think, mostly carried over from the first season because we ended up hitting some pretty decent players in both of the games that we did on this particular night. Anyway, I saw that there was an Ezreal with a sword, so I wanted to go for that with on the initial carousel, but I was not able to click fast enough to pick it up. So I started with a Singed with a Chain Vest instead, which I think is probably still a pretty solid start. Opportunities to go into innovators and whatnot from here. So as mentioned before, this is the two-player mode. As a quick refresher, if you're unfamiliar with this game mode, you have a partner that plays along with you. Each of you shares a common life bar, so you essentially have 200 health. It shows up as each of you having 100, but you basically have 200 total life in this game mode. And whenever you win rounds, you don't take damage. If either of you lose rounds, then both of you take damage. So that's kind of the way it works. Shared life bar. If either one of you loses a round, then you end up taking damage. There's also the possibility to come to your partner's aid. If you win a round quickly, you can come over to their board with any surviving units from the combat. And of course, if they win quickly, they can also come over to your side. However, the same thing goes for your opponents as well. If they are on the other side, if your opponent wins a round quickly, then they can go help their partner. So sometimes you'll be winning a round and then their partner comes in and helps you. Now, I had no particular goal on what I should take here. I didn't really have direction for my team, so I just took Treasure Trove, which is going to give me a Nico's help and another item component. I don't know that that was necessarily a great option, but as I said, I didn't really have any other direction for my team comp, so I just decided I'd pick up the treasure trove. I was actually hoping I would get like 8 gold or something like that so that I could accelerate economy. Instead, I just got one component and a Nico's, which isn't terrible or anything, but wasn't really what I was looking for. In retrospect, I wish I had taken Shrug It Off. Bruisers regenerate a percentage of their max health because that would have been more useful given that I ended up playing into a lot of bruisers in this game. But I didn't know that at the time, so I think it was a defensible choice. All right, so here I am still trying to figure out what the heck I'm playing, and this ends up being the real issue in the early game here. I was just like, I don't know what I'm playing here. I have a bunch of tank items, mostly tank items here. And then, like, I don't really have any clear carry. I don't have carry items. I don't have a carry unit. So I was like, I'm just going to put in these two challenger units behind two bodyguards, and I'll make a bramble vest. And I'm just kind of like, I'm very confused as to what I'm doing here. This is kind of a rare game where I just have no idea what the heck I'm playing in the early game. So I'll just, put some tanks on the front line and go from there. Antisocial had a better idea of what he was looking to play. I think he decided pretty early that he was going to go for Twitch reroll. So I decided I would be on the lookout for any Twitches or the other units that play into that particular team comp, which are like Singed and Camille and Ezreal. So I decided I would keep an eye out and look for those units. He was able to make a Chemtech. He pulled Tome of Traits for his initial augment and pulled a Chemtech spatula. So he'll have like +1 Chemtech for his team composition, which again is not like the most amazing thing, but certainly is playable. All right, so again, biggest issue for me right now is I don't really have a unit to play through as far as carry units go. I have like some tanks and some tank items, but I don't really have anything on the front lines. I was also thinking of potentially playing into Syndicate because I've done that in a lot of games and had some success with it. But I saw that there was another player who already had a Syndicate heart and was clearly going to be playing pretty hardcore into the Syndicate unit. So I was like, I don't know if that's the direction I necessarily want to go. Guess we'll have to wait and see. But like, I don't really have AD items and I don't really have AP items either. I guess I have the rod, so I think that's going to lead me to go a little bit more towards an AP type comp. Just because I have this rod, I don't really have a sword or anything like that. I was hoping that I would win this round because I'm on 9 gold. Would really like to get up to 10 gold, but the problem is that this is probably the strongest board in the lobby right now because this person has Hex Tech, which is very strong early game, plus Duet, and they have a 2-star Rek'Sai, which is going to be really strong this early in the game. So no, I'm not going to be able to win that round, which is a little bit unfortunate. All right, here I decide, you know what I've got? I can go ahead and put in this Echo. I can put a Morello's on Echo, and I think that's better than what I'm playing right now. So I believe that I decide to just put in the Echo here and make a Morello's on that. It'll also pick up Scrap. So I dropped the Challenger, which wasn't really doing a whole lot, and just move into the Morello's here. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll hold on this, but again, I still don't really have anything useful here. I definitely need to get some better definition to what I'm playing so I have a better idea of what I'm going up against. I also have no 2-star units, which is not exactly what you want, ideally. I'm up against the Syndicate board, and I think I would have actually beaten this board, but look, their partner is going to come in super early. So like now I'm up against both of the enemy team's boards, which is not ideal. I don't really have much damage. It's mostly just the Morello burn from Echoes being applied to these units. And yeah, I definitely can't beat both of the enemy boards. So this was not a particularly good opener to the start of the game, and I need to figure out something better from here. Now, the good news is we do get to pick quickly off the carousel. We have the second pick off the carousel. So we're looking at the different options here, and I see that there's an MF with a rod. So I was like, you know what? 3 gold rod, that doesn't feel bad. Maybe I can put this on Echo. Or maybe I can play the Misfortune. I guess that's also a possibility because Misfortune holds AP items relatively well. So I just decided to pick up that as Antisocial continues picking up units heading towards his Twitch reroll. So I was planning on selling this, but then look what I see in the store. I see a Gangplank in the store, and I was like, wait a minute. I have a Quinn, and there's a Gangplank, and I just picked up a Misfortune. So maybe I just play Mercenaries temporarily. I don't typically play a lot of Mercenaries, but I actually thought this was the strongest option here. 2-star Darius with a Bramble Vest for frontline, along with Blitzcrank, and then Misfortune with Morello's plus a Rod. She actually holds Morello's fairly well. Now, it's a little bit wasted because Misfortune's ultimate innately is a healing debuff anyway, so you're kind of like getting a double healing debuff, but it will also apply that burn effect to anyone that's hit by the cone of her, not cone, but like the little area of effect of her bullets. You probably also saw gold popping up there. That was the getting the choice to either pick up an item component or alternately pick up gold. And you should usually try to take the 8 gold from these early rounds. Unless it's like a perfect component for you, you usually should try to take the gold just because it accelerates your economy by a lot to get that 8 gold drop. So I ended up taking the gold, and that's gonna. I was honestly pretty poor, so it actually is gonna help quite a bit to get that 8 gold. All right, for once I was able to win my round. I'm gonna go over to Antisocial's board, but he's also won his round, so that's gonna be okay. We're a little bit concerned by the fact that there's another team that's on a long win streak and actually has not lost a round yet. Both of them are on full win streak. Here is what I just had the last round. Antisocial is the choice to take a Rod, a Cloak, or 8 gold, but he is also going to take the 8 gold because it's very good for econ purposes. All right, so again, just kind of chilling here for right now. Again, I'm not seeing the units that Antisocial wants to play, and I still don't really know long-term what I'm playing either. But since I have a Morello's and a Rod, it seems like I probably need to play towards some kind of AP team composition. I was thinking maybe Syndicates because I had the 2-star Darius, but then again, there is that other person who's playing Syndicates in the lobby, so that would be going into a contested team composition. So that is still a possibility, but maybe I could look to play something else as well. The other real alternative for AP stuff is typically to play Renata plus Bruisers. That like Renata takes your AP items, then you play a bunch of Bruisers for frontline. Again, that would be slightly awkward here because I'm playing Bodyguards for my frontline. I'd have to transition. And then you go into like Victor later on. So it is a possibility. We'll have to see. This time I'm up against a mutant board. The mutant ability in this game is the Predators. That is, they get the execute when on low HP. You just saw Cho execute Blitzcrank there. So this was looking like a bit of a tough round, but good news is Gangplank's going to farm some gold for me. MF's going to get off her ult right before she dies, and we're able to clutch this one out. Antisocial was about to come help me too. So I would say it was an okay stage. I would say it was like an okay stage 2. Got off to kind of a bad start, but was able to salvage it at the end. Note that I am not playing Mercenaries Lost Streak. That's not my goal. I'm literally just running Misfortune as my item holder for the time being. I just have Mercenaries in because why not? It's fed me like a couple extra. I think it gave me one extra gold, and then I think Gangplank's farmed like one gold coin. But this is not Mercenary Lost Streak here. This is just me using Misfortune as my item holder because I think she's the best item holder I can have right now. And then I just like happen to have the items here. All right, so this is kind of good news, kind of bad news. I'm going to end up getting a spatula here. So that's great if we can find some way to make something out of this spatula. The problem is neither of our team compositions really plays into spatula stuff all that well. Like neither of us really have stuff that is going to want spatulas. I think Antisocial could maybe make an assassin spatula. That's one possibility, or he could make a Chemtech spatula, but there's not a whole lot that I'm looking for that I really want. Because if I play into syndicates, I can't make a syndicate spatula. If I play into bruisers, I can't really make, like, you can't make a bruiser spatula. And there's not really much of anything that's going to help me there. Maybe like an Arcanist spatula, I guess, if like I played Victor plus, gave AP to everything. But we can't really use this all that well. So I think the plan that we were thinking was I can give it to Antisocial and maybe he can try to make a Chemtech spatula out of it. I think that was the goal. Anyway, that other team still hasn't lost yet. I was concerned that I might hit that person. One thing that now it's set 6.5 is you can see who you're up against. Like you can see who you're most likely to hit. And I did have a chance to hit them. By the way, GP farmed another gold coin for me. Like he has no items and he's a 1-star. So anytime he farms a gold coin, it's like amazing. Note that Misfortune went down to like 20% health, but she managed to stay alive. And now I'm going to come over to the Antisocials board. And in fact, it's going to be a full 4-player brawl because their partner came over as well. So there are 4 of us on the board, but I'm able to win. And so both of us are now on like modest win streaks right now as a result of this. Anyway, see another Misfortune. I've actually got quite a few pairs in my store right now. I have a pair of Quins. I have a pair of Misfortunes. I have a pair of Camille's. I'm going to play her for a little bit more frontline. I don't think she's the best frontliner by any means, but she's kind of what I've got for right now. I was holding her in part because I thought Antisocial might want the Camille, and also because I just kind of had these units randomly. Yeah, he's re-rolling for Camille, and he's made a Chemtech Camille with a what is that? With a Gargoyle Stoneplate. Very strong frontline for the early game, although of course it will fall off. But with the Chemtech Spat, we'll also get innate healing, which is kind of nice. All right, this is up against one of the 2 teams that's win streaking. So I would certainly love to win this. Darius is in good shape if he can get off one more ult. He would have healed back to full if he had gotten that off because there were so many enemy units around him. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get that done. And Misfortune not quite hitting all the enemy units. So not going to be able to win that. And it looks like that person's going to continue win streaking here, just as they've been doing for most of the game. Is Antisocial going to be able to win his round? No, he's already lost his round as well. So unfortunately, we kind of hit that top comp, and we're obviously not strong enough to beat them. These options I don't love either. I don't want Trade Sector. Thrill of the Hunt is pretty meh. I mean, it's good if you take it for the very first augment, but I really don't like taking it for an augment after the first one because it just doesn't scale very well as the game goes on. It looks like a good augment because like whenever you kill an enemy unit, you get like the big health refresh. And so it looks like it's a very powerful augment. By the way, there's Antisocial hit his Twitch 3-star, hit Twitch 3-star very quickly. Had good luck hitting it. So kudos to him for getting that unit so quickly. So yeah, like Thrill of the Hunt, it looks really good, but it actually tends not to be very good because it's what T-Hawk back in the day would have called a win more augment. T-Hawk kind of coined this in the Civilization games, but we've used it for a lot of things. It's kind of like Magi Soul Stealer in League of Legends. If you're already winning the game, it's great. You win even harder. But if like it's really close or you're losing, it does nothing. Like if you're behind in a combat, you're not killing units. Thrill of the Hunt does absolutely nothing. So it just tends not to be that good long term. And the win statistics for it are not very good at all. In terms of like average placement finish, it's pretty mediocre. This is sad because MF gets sniped by Caitlyn right when she's about to win the fight, or excuse me, right when Caitlyn's about to die. So I was like, all right, well, I guess we lose this one. But it turns out we're actually going to clutch this one out and win it. Antisocial was about to hop on the board too. So the good news is we win that round. And the bad news is now we have worse carousel priority. Looks like the win streak on one of the players on that other team has been interrupted, but the other one is still win streaking. So we'd really like to see their win streak ended just to deny them economy. All right, so we've got third pick here. I am looking to get that tier on Corky because if I'm going to go into some kind of spellcasting comp, I really need to get a tier at some point so that I can get some additional mana generation. The good news is it's there. And the other good news is Antisocial really needed a glove, and the glove is going to be there as well. So now I've got most of the items I want. I'm looking to play into, I think I've decided at this point that I'm going to play into Renata because my items are a little bit better for Renata over Ari, and I also won't be contested as much. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. By the way, I do get a little gold from the mini mercenaries cash out. I had a one loss cash out, so it's not much of a cash out. But I'm going to go ahead and make the Spear of Shojin. So now I've got Shojin plus Morelos plus Jeweled Gauntlet. Again, note that I also have 4 pairs on my bench. So in theory, I could reroll a little bit here to try to hit my pairs, but I wanted to keep pushing levels. That was my goal. Try to get up to higher levels quickly. The other thing is I have really good Victor items here as well. Like Shojin plus Jeweled Gauntlet, those are amazing Victor items. So if I can find a Victor, even a Victor 1-star, and put these items on Victor, that would just be awesome. So that's kind of the long-term plan, is it's like short-term, play maybe into Renata as GP farms another gold coin for me. Like go GP. Like short term, try to find Renata. Long term, see if I can play into Victor. This person with the what is it? They've got a Senna over there, not quite strong enough to beat them. Again, if I didn't have so many 1-stars, maybe. And then they're gonna pop over here and join Antisocial. So it looks like that was up against the win streaking comp and not strong enough to win that one. All right, I do hit this 2-star Misfortune, so that's nice. I also find a Senna here, and Antisocial was looking for Sennas. So one thing I'm going to do is I find an Oriana. I'm going to level and put an Oriana for Clockwork. And then I also had this Senna here, and I was like, oh, Antisocial, he's definitely said he needed a Senna. So I was like, oh, cool, you want the Senna? Well, why don't I use one of my Sens right now to take this Senna and send it over with the spatula on it. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, here you go. But Antisocial pointed out, he's like, we're about to hit a minion round. Why don't you just wait until after the minion round? Because things might change depend on like what items drop, that kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, that was probably a mistake. Probably should have just held that a little bit longer because we had, like we said, we had a minion round coming up. And the sad thing is Antisocial actually ended up needing to clear some bench space because he was running out of room to hold his 3-star units. He actually had to end up selling that Seraphine. So we used a send for 4 gold. Womp womp. So yeah, probably could have planned that a little bit better. By the way, note that someone has a 2-star Draven already. Yeah, 2-star VIP Draven. So it was like, yeah, that's gonna be pretty strong so far. That's maybe not something that we necessarily wanted to see. The good news is I got another mini cash out from my mercenaries, and I actually managed to roll the best option. I got an item from losing one round and then winning another round. I got a rod out of it. So mercenaries trade has not exactly done a ton for me in this, but it has done a little bit. Like I was able to pick up probably like 5 gold extra. GP made maybe like another 3 or 4 gold. And then on top of that, I was able to get this rod. And then I get another rod here as well. It's like, wow, that's a lot of rods that I've been picking up here. So by the way, we're going to get another send, another thing that lets you send a champion over to the other person's board. And at this point, I decided I'm going to move out of the mercenaries. I'm going to hold this Seraphine, but I also found a Silco, and I was like, 1% odd Silco. Yeah, let's go ahead and play that. So I'm going to use Silco. I'm going to use Silco to accelerate MS first cast, and I'm going to keep the Oriana in there. So I do lose mercenaries, but at this point, I'm not so much worried about mercenary win streaks or loss streaks. It's not like I was on a long win streak or loss streak or anything like that. So I decided that I would move into Silco, and now I'm really looking to try to find Renata, and ideally at some point Victor, although Victor, again, is a legendary unit, it's not going to pop up very quickly. This round, MF started taking a lot of damage right off the start, and then so she gets Silco ulted and ends up surviving. Like, she was going to die at the start of the fight, but Silco ults her, and that's that. Antisocial, you can see, is getting close to some of his 3-stars. He's 1 away from Camille, and he's 1 away from Singed. So he's he's 2 away from Ezreal, so he's very close to hitting these 3-stars. It's one of the things we've done or one of the things that Anti-Socialist says he thinks is a good idea in some of these games is it's not a bad idea to have one person pushing levels while one person rerolls. One person can stabilize the other. Like right now, Anti-Social's in a little bit of a weak position because he's still only level 5. But because I'm pushing levels, I can kind of help cover that. And then when I am level 8 and I'm not leveling for a little bit because I'm stuck while I'm trying to get stronger units, then he can kind of cover for me because he'll have hit his 3-stars and he'll be strong while he's hit his 3-stars. And then he'll be in a position of strength while he recovers economically. But I'll be like trying to transition my board, and then he'll be strong while I'm weak, and vice versa. So it certainly is not the way you have to play this game mode by any means. But he said he and Grillo have had some success with one person being kind of greedy economically and pushing levels while the other person rerolls. Because like right now, Antisocial is very strong. He just hit 3-star Camille, he hit 3-star Twitch, he hit 3-star Ezreal. So he's got a whole bunch of 3-stars. So he's going to be strong for the immediate future, while I'll be in a weaker position. As because I'm about to have to transition my board. Like my board's fine for right now, but I'm gonna have to transition it, and I'm gonna inevitably be weak for a little while I'm transitioning my board because like I need to find Renata, transition into Bruisers, and there you see Antisocial gets his Singed in play as well. So now he just needs to play Seraphine. Seraphine is his unit in at level 7 because that gets him to 5 innovators. But like I said, I have to transition pretty much my whole board. Um, like the Silco will stay, but everything else needs to be transitioned. All right. Anyway, this is the comp that's win streaking right now because they've got VIP 2-star Draven. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think I can deal with that board at all, especially not if Misfortune trolls their ult and shoots it in the wrong direction, not hitting any of the units over there. So yeah, that is the strong team right now. The person with the 2-star Draven. So that is a comp that can get outscaled long term, but it's not something that we can deal with right now. All right, we're going to have third pick on the carousel once again. And out of the choices on this carousel, I see that there's a Tom Kench with a sword. I was like, I want that Tom Kench. I can make Gunblade on Tom, and I'm playing into Bruisers anyway, so this will be perfect for me. I can play through this Tom, which is pretty early to find Tom Kench, stage 4 carousel. Fortunately, it is still there. So this is going to be part of my transition into Bruiser frontline. Is I'm going to pick up this Tom, and I'm actually going to end up getting a lot of value out of Tom in this game because I'm hitting him early. Now the trade-off is I'm going to have to balance feeding Tom with trying to like transition my board. So I'm going to make the Gunblade on Tom, and I'm going to send that Seraphine over to Antisocial. So there's a Renata. So I'm going to start transitioning into Renata. So I'll put the items on her, Jeweled Gauntlet, Morello's, and I think I make another Gunblade. And then I'm going to put the Jeweled Gauntlet on Tom. So now, again, I need to start transitioning to Bruiser frontline. Again, this is going to take a little while. I should pick up these Seraphines for Antisocial. I'm not doing that. And I run out of time here. So again, I'm still trying to transition here, still trying to get stronger. And oh, there's a Victor. Hello, Victor at 4% odds. Now I really have some decisions to make because it's like, okay, I want to put some items on Renata, but I think I want to put more items on Victor. That Shojin in particular definitely needs to go on Victor. So I need to find another Renata so I can sell the Renata and move the items over. So unfortunately, I didn't find the Victor first. That would have been nice. But yeah, now that I have the Victor, now we're really starting to make this team comp work. So again, we need to get some more Bruisers for the front line because this is a team comp that plays into Bruisers. And then we need to go from there. None of these options I particularly like again. I don't think I want Weak Spot because I've got Morello's. I don't know that I necessarily need to do that. I'm also doing magic damage. So I go ahead and take the Keepers, even though I don't like Keepers as an option at this stage of the game either. So yeah, trying to make this work. Again, I'm still passing up these Seraphines. Also, I should realize that I'm not going to play the Jinx because I'm playing Vi in this game. Like, there's just no point to playing the Jinx. All right, so let's go ahead and ditch the Blitzcrank. Again, we're moving out of the bodyguards and into Bruisers. We're, again, continuing to still transition here. So that gets me to 4 Bruisers. And there's another Victor. So I was like, I have a Nico on my bench. Remember how I took Treasure Trove at the very beginning of the game? I can just Nico this Victor and play this. Although now I've also hit 2-star Oriana. So it's like, do I want the 2-star Oriana in here? Again, I'm still trying to transition. Remember, I also made the... I'm definitely going to Nico the Victor. So now I just need to find one more Renata so I can get that Shojin off of the Renata and onto Victor. So I've actually done a fairly good job of transitioning. Now I'm in Bruiser plus Chemtech plus Scholar, which is kind of where I want to be. I don't quite have the items where I want them yet, and I'm not feeding Tom, and I'm not taking advantage of Keepers, which was the augment that I just picked up. But I think I've mostly managed this transition fairly well. I did it in like 2 stages. So again, reasonably well. I'm still not quite there, and like I am losing these rounds while I'm still transitioning, but I think I did a pretty solid job with this. Again, Antisocial also helping us out. Again, Antisocial not transitioning was already kind of made his board, so he was able to help us preserve health for the time being. All right, there we find the Renata, so that will allow me to sell and transition these items. I actually should wait for the minion round to complete here before assigning these items. Let's see if I remember to do that. I really should wait and see what I get from the minion round. I am going to put the Shojin on Victor. I definitely want the Morellos on Renata. Okay, so I do not do that. I do not stop and wait to see what comes out of the minion round, which I should, just because it might influence the decisions I make. But yeah, I mean, I've got a gazillion AP items. I certainly have a ton of rod-based items. And what am I going to get here? I'm going to end up getting, oh, the components for another Gunblade. So, okay, well, I guess we can I guess we can do that. I am still rolling because I still have a lot of 1 stars on my board. So again, I'm still looking here. I don't think I'm going to play the Galio. I do want to start feeding Tom, even though it's going to be expensive to do so. If I could just hit 2-star Renata, I'd feel a lot better about this position. We're going to move out of the Ilaoi and into the Sejuani, so I pick up Enforcer, and now I'm going to move to get Keeper value. And since I have the items for another Gunblade, it's like, all right, I guess this is Gunblades are us in this game, because we're going to have 3 Gunblades, one on Renata, one on Victor, one on Tom. It's a very good item on Renata. It's a very good item on Tom. It's not as good on Victor, but I mean, hey, why not? I've got a 2-star Victor here. So yeah, we're going to play that. So we're basically playing through Victor right now. He's really the unit that we want. Tom's going to make me a couple extra gold coins by eating some units. And now I'm going to pop over to Antisocial's board. So I'm feeling pretty strong right now, thanks to having the 2-star Victor. It's really bizarre that I made 2-star Victor before I made 2-star Renata in this game. But I mean, sometimes that happens. So now I want to try to get up to level 9. I think my board's strong enough to get to 9. I'm looking for more Silkros, more Vi's, and more Renatas. And here's another Seraphine. So I go ahead and toss that on Tom. And because it's early enough in the game that I found Tom, I'm going to be able to make a very, very strong Tom here. I'm going to keep feeding him these units. Now, it is costing me econ. This is slowing my progress to level 9, but I do want to make a stronger Tom. I feel like I can make an incredibly strong Tom if I'm able to just keep feeding him stuff. And it's not like this game is about to end. I think we have a decent number of rounds yet to go. So come on, Tom, eat some enemy units, make me some items, buy time for Victor to cast. We're applying poison everywhere. We're now getting the Keeper shields, although I don't think that they're that significant. Come on, Tom, can you eat another unit and make me another item? He's gonna eat something. I think he took, I think he made me some gold there. He did get Silco ulted. And we're gonna knock this team down to 1 HP, which is quite nice. So yeah, we're in a very strong position right now. We're kind of cruising we're kind of like cruising in this situation right now. I'm just hoping to get up to level 9, and then at level 9, I'm going to look to try and play one more unit. I don't know what my last unit's going to be, but we'll figure something out. And look to make 2-star Tom and 2-star Silco is the goal. Right there, we decided to use another one of our sends. Antisocial hadn't used one of his champion sends yet, and he used it to send me another Renata, so that allowed me to make Renata 2-star. I think that was worthwhile. We're going to get another send at the start of stage 6, so I think it was worthwhile just to make 2-star Renata there. All right, this time I'm up against someone who also has a Tom Kench and has a has a Kaisa. So I kind of need Victor to just like shred through this team comp. Looks like Renata has been Silco ulted, and it looks like we're going to win this round without too much difficulty. There we go. So we're going to knock them down to 6 HP. The danger for us is that person's already level 9. That's a team that's been greeting Econ, but they've been able to hit level 9. By the way, one of the other players, that person who had the 2-star Draven, actually made a 3-star Draven. But then their partner got knocked out. So the Draven comp, I believe, is out. Or maybe they're still in. Maybe they're the group with 5 HP. Anyway, on this carousel, we're last pick. The bad news is someone took a Shroud. That's pretty bad for me because remember, I'm all clumped up for Keeper's value. The good news is there was a death cap on there, so I'm gonna put this death cap on Victor. So yeah, Victor's gonna have Shojin plus Shojin plus Gunblade plus death cap. That's pretty good. I wish, in retrospect, it would have been nice if the Jeweled Gauntlet was on him as well. If I had like Shojin plus Death Cap plus Jeweled Gauntlet, so he could critically strike on his spells. But I did not know. I did not know I was going to get that. And then we use one more of our sends for 2-star Vi. Again, we're going to get another send at the start of stage 6. So felt like it was worthwhile to go ahead and make that. Tom Kent is up to 180% ability power, plus he has a Jeweled Gauntlet. So if he critically strikes on his Feast ultimate, it's going to do an awful lot of damage. So like right now, I want him to eat that Braum, get that Braum out of the way. Come on, Tom, can you eat that Braum? Braum did get off his ultimate first before that happened. But Tom is going to eat him, and that's going to produce an item, so that's really nice. And now I just need Victor Ult to hit that Sivir. There we go. That's exactly what we want to see, so going to win that round. And Antisocial also is able to win around. So we have way more health than anyone else in the lobby right now. So we're feeling pretty good. We're kind of on like cruise control right now. I've got this other rod. So how many rods do I have in this game? Like, look at all the items that have been built out of rods that I have on my board. I've got a Gunblade that builds out of a rod. I've got a Morello's that builds out of a rod. I've got another. I've got two more Gunblades which both build out of rods. I've got a Death Cap. Oh, I guess that person who's playing Draven is still in the lobby. So yeah, 3-star Draven. But yeah, I've got triple Gunblades, I've got Morello's, I've got a Death Cap, I've got a Jeweled Gauntlets. I have an awful lot of items that build out of the rods. So here's the person who took the Shroud off Carousel. That's really bad for me. My whole team gets shrouded. Unfortunately, I am bunched up for that Keeper's augment, and the Shroud just kind of destroys me because, like, look how long it takes Victor to get his cast off. Not that I was probably going to win against Draven 3-star anyway, but it might have been a little bit closer. So yeah, I'm going to lose that round, and that's a bit unfortunate. But the other person, the good news for us is that team with 3-star Draven is on 1 HP. So if the partner of that person can win, and there we go. There we go. It's actually not us. It's the other team comp. The team comp on 12 HP. But they knock out the partner of the 3-star Draven. And that gets Draven out of the lobby. Oh, and by the way, look what I've got. Archangel Staff. Another item that builds out of rods. It's like, how many total rods do I have on my team comp here? I've got like almost 10 rods and like almost nothing else. I've got a Bramble Vest. I believe the Bramble and the Spear of Shojin are the only items on my entire team that do not build out of a rod. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. All right, so anyway, now it's a duel. It's down to us and this one other team. So we have to find a way to beat this other team. And hopefully we can do that. But the problem is this other team is also getting very strong here as well. So one of the person is playing through like Sivir plus Aurelia. And the other person, the person who's probably scarier, is building through just like a bunch of legendary units. They're actually kind of similar to me. They also are playing Victor. They also are playing Tom, but they also have a Kaisa, like a 2-star Kaisa. So yeah, it's like one of the boards is not that strong. That person I'm about to hit this round, Bad Meets Evils, I don't think is particularly strong. But the other person's board is like a gazillion legendary units, and that feels very strong. At least we don't have to worry about them hitting like 3-star Sivir or 3-star Aurelia. Does not look like that's going to happen anytime soon. So yeah, this is kind of the weaker of the two boards. I just need Victor ult to kind of shred through this team. Come on, Victor. Apparently was not able to hit either of the key units. So kind of an unfortunate loss there. I thought that I would be able to beat that board. And now Antisocial has to hit both of the other team's boards, which I don't think he's going to be able to do. So unfortunately, we take a double loss there, which is not what we're looking for. All right, I find another Tom here. That's nice. I'll hold the Seraphine. I should have done a better job of holding Seraphines because I think we maybe could have gotten 3-star Seraphine for Antisocial if I had been holding them. Anyway, here they had the item drop. You get item drops on 6-2 and 6-3. This is the one where Antisocial provided an item for me, and then I will get an item for him on the next round. So out of all this stuff, I end up taking the Banshee's Claw. I can't remember what the other two options were, but I wanted to get the Trap Claw or Banshee's Claw so that I could provide protection against one spell for Victor here. So anyway, they are going to go ahead, and now I'm up against, I believe, what, again, I think is the stronger of the two comps. This is the one with the 2-star Kaisa, 2-star Victor. So I kind of need Victor to get... Oh, and they have 2-star Tom over there as well. So this board is pretty similar to mine overall. Anyway, so it's going to be largely about like who can get their casts off faster. Let's see which Victor can ult sooner in these fights. And it looks like my Victor ulted first, and yeah, there we go. We actually killed the enemy Victor before he could get his ult off. So if we can just deal with Kaisa now, come on, there we go. So Victor's on it, and we're going to win this round just before their partner could come in. So I end up winning. Antisocial, unfortunately, took a loss that round, but we're able to knock them down to 4 HP. So I've got Last Whisper, Hand of Justice, and Titans. This is the reverse of what happened in the last round. Now I am picking an item to give over to Antisocial, and he is going to pick the Titans Resolve after thinking about it. I do remember that happening. As far as my board getting stronger, again, I can put in another unit at level 9. So I'm going to look to do that shortly here. It's 48 to level. So I think I end up holding off, or no, I do not end up holding off. I end up leveling right here. And I toss in Jhin for Clockwork. Now, should I be playing Jhin and Orianna in this comp? Probably not. There's probably something better I could play. But I don't know exactly what that is, whether that's like Arcanist or whether that's more Bruisers. Didn't feel great to play like more bruisers to go up to like 6 bruisers. Anyway, we get a little bit of bad RNG because this person apparently got a shroud out of their item drop round. You know how we just had the item drop? Yeah, they got a shroud, and that's going to be a heck of a lot better than that trap claw because once again, this person's able to shroud my entire team. Ori gets off a great ult. Victor's still alive. Come on. Oh, Victor dies just before his ult goes off. And then that's going to allow them to jump over to the other board. Can Antisocial manage to win this round? He just has to try to deal with this. He's got his Camille still alive, but is not going to be able to kill that Aurelia. So kind of bad luck on that Shroud there. Just delays the Victor cast long enough. So I was like, oh man, really unfortunate there. Did not enjoy having that happen. And of course, because they're the team that's on the 4 HP, they're going to get to pick first. I really wanted that Warmogs to help my front line because my front line is not that strong. But I decided that I'll go ahead and pick up the blue buff for Vi because it is one of Vi's better items. Anyway, so I'm going to reroll here. I'm looking for one more. Looking for one more Tom would be probably the biggest thing. I also would like to find Soko 2-star. And I don't find it, so I'm going to feed Zeri. And I just get another rod. Another rod for my Tom Kench. So now he's got a death cap as well. I think I have like 10 different rods on my team. Just insane. So Tom's ultimate is going to do an insane amount of damage. I just need him to like eat key enemy units. So here I decide to move at the last second because I know there's a shroud position. Unfortunately, both of the enemy teams now have shrouds. And at this point I was like, you know what? I can't keep letting my entire team get shrouded. Who cares about this keeper benefit? I need to spread out my board so that I don't keep getting hit by the what is it called? By the shrouds. That's what's causing problems. So like I'm going to get knocked down to 9 HP. And then Antisocial's also going to lose here. And like the real thing that's causing problems is the shrouds. So good news is I'm going to hit the 2-star Tom. But the bad news is we're both down to 1 HP. If we lose one more round, if either of us loses one more round, we're out of the game. So we have to beat them. And we probably have to beat them twice. By the way, I'm going to get a Silco send here from Antisocial because that puts me 1 away from Silco 2-star. But yeah, we can't afford to lose any more rounds. I was like, all right, screw the keeper's benefit. The keeper is not worth it. What we need to do is we need to avoid getting shrouded. So I'm going to reposition my team at the last second. And the shroud is largely going to miss. It's going to hit Tom, which is a big deal. But it misses Renata, and most importantly, it misses Victor. So Tom is still going to get his ultimate off. And then Victor's going to get his cast off. I need to hit the backline. I need to hit that Sivir. Come on, come on, come on. This is the weaker of the two comps. And all right, we're going to take them down. Now I have to get over to the other board because if Antisocial loses, then the match is over. And oh, I'm going to get over here. This is the stronger of the two team comps. Come on, there's still a Tom Kench up. There's still a Victor up. All right, we killed their Victor. Can we kill the Tom Kench? Oh, there we go. Woo! So we do manage to win that round. It wasn't enough for me just to win the round. I had to win quickly. Because if I wasn't able to win the round quickly, and Antisocial lost his round, then we would have been out. We both had to win our rounds. It wasn't enough for one of us to win. But here's some more good news. Antisocial's 1 off of Echo 3-star, so I'm going to send that to him, and that's going to make Echo 3-star. So I just need one more Silco, and I've got Silco 2-star, and that's kind of how my board caps out. I mean, I guess I could find a Jhin as well, but really I need one more Silco, and then my board is completely finished. So I'm going to get, a Titans here, which is not really a terribly useful item. I guess I'll put it on Vi because she's the other kind of unit I've been itemizing. And then I hit Jhin. It's like, okay, I guess. I'll keep rolling here. I really just need to find one more Silco. We've used all of our sends. We can't send any more champions in either direction. So yeah, let's get a little bit more health there. And I guess I'll just put this belt on Zach because why not? All right, I am up against the stronger of the two comps. They have 2-star Victor, 2-star Silco. And the big thing, again, is I need to avoid getting shrouded. There is that Shroud of Stillness. I see it's on the left-hand side. I'm like, he's going to move it at the last second, so I'm going to shift over into the Shroud, but I'm confident this person will shift the Shroud, and they do. Unfortunately, I don't manage to get Silco over there to the left, so I'm not going to accelerate Victor's cast in that regard. So this is all about who's Victor's going to cast first, but oh, Zach! Zach's going to pull the Victor over there. That's going to delay their ult for just a little bit. The dual Victor ults go off. There's lasers everywhere. This is really close, but oh, we've got it. We beat them. Now can Antisocial win his round as well? And he does! Haha! So we're going to clutch this one out and win on 1 HP. We had to win the last 2 rounds. And we managed to do it just barely. So Feather Knights for the win, dual Feather Knight celebration. and it's going to be a first place finish in a very close and very tense game. So if I had to make some comments about that one, I think we could have used the champion and item sends a little bit better. I don't think we ever managed to use that spatula that we picked up early in the game. But overall, I still think that we played well. And this was a tough game. This was really close, and we managed to make it work at the end. The key thing was separating my team, dodge the Shroud of Stillness, don't let the whole team get shrouded. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this double up game. Until next time, have a good one.